everybody. Welcome to Bestie Book Reviews. I'm here with my bestie Mandy.
And I'm here with my bestie Jessica and author Lola King.
Hey.
Hi. We're so excited to have you here. Like I've read almost. Well, I've read them all. I have read them all. I'm here for it. I love having you here. So, yeah, I'm excited.
Thank you so much for having me.
Of course.
Oh, it is our pleasure.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, we'll just dive right in. You just had a new release. Do you want to tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, so we just released, I always say we, me and all the people in my head, we just released Loving the Tormentor, which is the third book in the Silver Falls University series. And it's a dark romance, pretty dark. It's bully, it's good girl, bad boy, opposite sides of town, secret society. So you've got it all in there.
Yeah, you do. It's yummy. It was right up my alley for sure. I love it when I even like bullying. So, it's a little harder, not in real life. Mandy laughing at me. But I like it when he's mean to her and she's the good girl. So this was great. It really was.
You really got that in there.
Really got that in there. It was wonderful. And I think, and the way the book started out to the prologue, I was like hooked immediately. It was so good. So good.
Okay, so my next question is going to be, do you have a favorite trope that you like to write? Because I feel like I know what it might be, but I'm curious what you would say.
What do you think it might be?
I feel like you like writing bully romance.
Yeah, I mean, they all have some sort of like pretty big power dynamics are quite like unbalanced, definitely. My favorite to write is probably enemies to lovers. This one wasn't really too much, and the one like this series, it didn't have too much enemies to lovers, but usually that's the one I like to read and write the most, definitely.
Yeah, I like that. I think my first book of yours I picked up was the fourth book in the North Shore series, and now that I have you on camera, my brain short-circuited on what it's called.
Lola's God.
Which one?
The fourth one, you said?
Yeah, the fourth one.
Lola's God.
That's right. That's exactly what it is. I read that as an arc, and then when the audio came out, I was like, I'm going to listen to it. And then I went back and started from the beginning, but that was my favorite.
That's a big enemies to lovers there. Like, except Holly's Beloved in that series, they're all enemies to lovers. Even the ones where they knew each other before, there was some sort of betrayal and delightful sins that made them enemies. So I went all in with those ones on the enemies to lovers.
And you just also had a new audio release as well, didn't you?
Yeah, Loving the Reaper, which is the book just before Loving the Tormentor.
Yes. So they can listen to those first two if they have it, and then jump into reading this one, because you'll get audio for it, but it's probably a few months down the road, right?
Yeah. They're probably going to start production soon now. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, and your audio is always great too. So if you guys haven't read it, go out and get it. It's great.
Honestly, the narrators just always do such a good job. I'm so impressed every time I listen. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, I know. It's like exactly. It's so good. Maybe too much, but yes, it's good. It's all there. You normally get really, really, really good narrators. So do you get to pick your narrators?
Yeah, I get to. They kind of like offer me some. They're like, oh, here's some people with like who are available and who could potentially do it. Like, who would you like? And then I kind of listen and pick who I think would be best for the character. Yeah.
Okay. I was curious how that works.
So, do you have a favorite book that you've written or a favorite character?
No, I don't have a favorite book. Usually my favorite character is usually like my favorite characters are the couple I'm writing in that moment. So recently it was Nyx and Achilles, but they're going to lose this spot pretty soon. I'm going to start writing someone else, and then they're just going to become my favorite. So it's always usually the ones I'm writing, because I get to like spend so much time with them and develop them and put them through shit.
Yeah.
So you have quite a few books out. So if somebody's watching this and they're brand new to you, is there somewhere you would recommend that they start?
I mean, it's a universe, so it's always best to start from the beginning. And that would be the Stoneview stories. There's an omnibus for it now. It's a trilogy. Or you can start with Given In, which is the first book in that series. If those are kind of like not your type of stories, then most people discover me through the North Shore. So most people will start with Beautiful Fiend, and then they might, if they really like those, they'll go back and then they can see everyone again. So you're always seeing everyone. And so either Beautiful Fiend, but if you really want to start from the beginning, you got to start with the Stoneview stories.
Yeah. And they're
I
interconnected.
started in the, oh, sorry.
Oh, I'll say they're interconnected standalone. So even though I started with Lawless God, I was able to go back. I didn't feel lost. Let's put it that way. So if you do start somewhere in the middle, you can go back to the beginning, or you won't feel lost when you can go back to the beginning. But when did you start with, Mandy?
I started in the North Shore series because
Well,
that's what you told me to do, Jessica.
it was Heartless Beloved, I think, is what you started with.
I think so.
Didn't you get that at BB4E, or get her to sign it at BB4E?
I brought a couple books to
Okay.
BB4E for her to sign. Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Usually people tend to start with Beautiful Fiend because it's kind of the most famous one, and it just happens to be the first in that series. But you can, it just depends how you like to enjoy things, really. If you like to read a standalone, you can absolutely read them as standalone. If you like to get inside a world, then, and just like see everyone again, and like they're side characters and then they become main characters, then you can start from the beginning.
And I do think that your world that you've written is unique. Like when I first picked it up to read it, I saw it on whatever the PR website was, and for Lawless God, and just signed up for the arc, because to me I was like, oh, it's dark romance. He's a mafia guy, so this has got to be mafia. It was. So then when I picked it up, it was my first book by you. Obviously, I didn't realize that it was these gangs, and it was so different to what we normally get as dark romance readers. It was unique, and it was like a breath of fresh air. And I think that's what really made me fall in love with it. Is just it's different. So you have a unique world. We don't see a lot like what you write, which is awesome.
Thank you. That's really nice. That's an honor to hear that. I mean, we definitely I think all authors, we have all those like same tropes and dark romance. We see a lot of the same things, but because we enjoy them, like there's nothing wrong with that. We all enjoy to read those like mafia or like secret society, or like we said, like bully and all those stuff. I did, when I started writing it, I was like, I don't think I have read, like I knew I hadn't read like these type of gangs before. I didn't know if they existed. I just knew I hadn't read them. So it was nice in the sense that I didn't feel like, oh my God, am I accidentally like copying anyone, or am I, I was just kind of like, I think this is all like, that was all coming out of my brain, like very fresh and I was very excited about it.
Yeah. And I know we've talked with a few other authors, and that's something that they are cautious of, especially in their own reading. Like if they write dark romance, they don't normally read dark romance because the tropes, because they're afraid of the copying or affecting their work. And so as somebody who you said you like the bully trope, so you probably read that in your own personal reading, right?
I don't really read too much dark romance anymore. It's been a while, to be fair. It was a few years ago that I read a lot of bully. But yeah, like sometimes some people are like, oh, this reminded me of this book, and I'm like, well, thank God I haven't read it, because otherwise I would freak out, because I'd be like, oh my God, did I copy this person? But oftentimes this is a book I've not really read. I don't read a lot of what I write anymore. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because then it's going to affect it.
So you were saying that the gangs were just kind of in your brain and just flowing out. Does it just randomly come to you? Like, how did that happen? Because it is unique.
I've always loved, I still do. My favorite like films and books are like gangster films and like gangster books, like The Godfather and Scarface, all those, like, or this new series that's come out this year called Mobland. I'm obsessed with it. And all these they're kind of like if I thought of The Godfather, I'd be like, that's mafia. But if I think of like, I was like, there's a lot of mafia out there, and I do love mafia, but I was like, it's just I was very interested in these like hierarchies, and like the almost in those books and those films and series, I love like the sort of in the hierarchy, like the lower soldiers. I'm like, what do they do every day? Like what, And
Yeah.
so, because if you think of the North Shore, like there is a background of mafia. There are more important people than them that are more in control of everything. But I was very interested in like what's happening in this small town where there are those petty gangs and everyone has to survive in one way or another. So yeah, I definitely get a little, I get a little inspired by this, like, not obsession, but this liking that I have of like gangsters and all of this in like only in obviously in series and stuff. I don't actually
Yeah.
in real life they're just not good people.
Yeah, but that's a really interesting way to look at it, because even though I've read all the books, I didn't think about it that way. Like we know they're lower on the totem pole, and they're not the ones in charge. And again, that's what makes it unique. But I didn't even think about it that way. So that's really interesting. I like to hear how your brain works when you're thinking about that.
It's weird. I don't know. What I think about all the time, and that might tell you a little bit of how my brain works, is when you watch a film and like something happens in the film and it affects like someone on the street, or like the person who is the one they like, if you watch like a rom-com or something, they're always like dating someone at the beginning, and then obviously that person disappears and then they end up with like significant other, and I'm like, what happened to that person? All those people are still living. I'm always like happening to them. We can't tell their stories, but they're there. So that's how my brain works.
Okay, that's good to know. That is interesting, because the rest of us don't even pay attention, right? So
do you watch this is so weird, but like like superhero movies. I don't love those, but sometimes you just end up watching one, and then they have these things where like destroy an entire like city or whatever, and I'm like, that guy who was running for his life,
what happened to him?
What happened? Is he okay?
Did he make it out? Yeah.
So yeah,
you're thinking about the little people, and that's really good.
This is don't know what
that speaks to your character. So I love that.
Well, along these lines, how did you become a romance writer?
Well, I don't know, when do you become like a romance writer once you've published the romance book, or do you become a romance writer once you start writing it? I don't know.
I don't know.
I've never really thought about the question like that. I just loved it. This is like probably my favorite author question, because everyone has such a different journey. From like, some people are like, oh, I've always wanted to be a writer, but I ended up being an accountant first, and then I was writing like in my free time and decided to throw the book up on, Amazon or whatever. So everybody just has different journes to it.
I think you become a romance writer when you start writing the romance. I don't think it matters.
Yes.
Or not, but it was really random. Like initially I studied film and TV, like producing film and TV, and then I got into that, and I think I was really confused in my 20s. Like I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, and it took me a while to realize that what I wanted to do was storytelling. I just wasn't sure which medium it was going to come from, like, and so I thought I wanted to be in film, so I did that. And then while I was working as a production assistant, I was writing my own TV series when in my downtime, like at the office or something. And I wrote these like 3 seasons of a TV series. And at the time it was fantasy, and it was YA, because it was those characters that I had in my head since I was like 12, because they started as like fan fiction, then I turned them into like my own world, and then by the time I was like 25, I sort of like was reading through my old fan fictions, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna take these characters and I'm gonna turn them into a series. And I kept like having my sister read it, and then my brother heard about it, and he was like, well, you should show your boss, because you work in a production company. I feel like this is a good place where you could give your TV series. And then I was like, no, I'm too scared. Like I'm too embarrassed. And so he was like, well, do something with it, turn it into a book, and then self-publish it. And so I did that. And at that time, I was reading a lot of bully romance. So this like fantasy YA, where if you've read the Stoneview stories, like Jake and Jamie were part of that fantasy YA, like Chris, Luke, Rose, they were all that, because those were characters that existed since I was a teen.
Okay.
And I just put them in that TV series, and then it turned into this sort of like dark romance, bully, smart, like totally not what it was initially.
Mhm.
And then I published that because I was like, oh my God, this is so exciting. And at the time, my partner gave me like this book, it was called like Amazon Self-Publishing. And it was like literally every page was like, click on this button. Now click here. Now click here. And so this is literally how I published the first book. But that's kind of like how I ended up into it. Like, I really thought it was going to be through films, but it just turned out like I was not. I think I was made to work on my own, and it takes hundreds of people to make a film, and I just probably wouldn't be good at that.
A lot. So, just a side note, since you're a production assistant, did you ever work with any celebs that we would know about, like that we would know?
It was mainly UK. There was one film I wouldn't talk to them face to face. But there was like Daniel Radcliffe, Idris Elba.
Okay.
Maybe I guess those are quite big names. And then there's other people, but I can never remember people like titles and names of celebrities. Like those things don't stick in my head. I think, I mean, there were like other people, or like there was like Jude Law's son. I can't remember what he's called.
Okay.
Sorry, Jude
So
Law's son.
you never like worked with like Richard Armitage or anybody that would would make us swoon?
I didn't work with like any. It was UK indie films. Like it wasn't like, I mean, they're indie films just because they're not Hollywood films doesn't mean they're like small films. They were like,
no, I love like BBC films and TV shows. Like those are some of my favorites to watch.
Yeah. Well, there you go. I mean, it wasn't the BBC, but it was. Yeah. It was like mainly like UK actors and stuff. It was fun, but not for me. It was fun for a few years.
And then it probably got old. Yeah.
So we all owe your brother a big thank you.
Yes.
For real. Like, you can never know. You can never know that. But I remember him telling me, and he always has these random ideas like, well, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? And I was like, oh, whatever. And then I did it, and I was like, oh shit, this is actually working.
Yeah, I can understand that though, because if my brother gave me some advice that worked like that, I would never tell him.
Yeah, anyone in my family, they must never know. Like, especially, or like my parents. If I do something that my mom's told me to do for like 10 years and I finally do it and it works.
Yes. The funny thing about that though is I have my kids are in their late teens, so my middle child is 18. And the other day she was talking to me. I don't remember what it was about, but she made this statement, and it was something that I have told her for years to do. Like, you need to do this, this is going to have this outcome. And she's ignored me. And then all of a sudden she's educating me and telling me that I need to do this because it worked. I'm like, I
told you this.
I told you this, and you ignored me for years, and now all of a sudden you're listening? Like, what's up with that? It's like she flipped a switch, and
I know.
Now she's smart. No.
Sometimes you just have to find your own way.
You do.
Even though your mom told you like a while ago.
Exactly. So.
So Loving the Tormentor is the last book in the Silver Falls University series. Yeah. So it was just 3 books.
Yeah.
So when you started to write this series, did you like plan, like, this question's kind of like, what's your writing process? Did you plan out like all 3 books and kind of know what direction you were going? Or did you just start with book 1 and we're like, I'm just going to do 3 books?
It's a little like in series. Yeah. Like, I know what's going to happen. I know how many books, I know which characters, especially like oftentimes, like I actually know from like 2 series prior who's going to get what book. Like when I was writing you, I knew Chris was going to get this book, Loving the Liar, in this series, even though he's such a huge character in Stoneview. So I know the like overall story arc within the series, because even though they're standalones, like there's always like a sort of like a background story happening within the book. And so I knew that. What I don't know exactly is, you know, I don't plot an individual book from beginning to end. I'm not it's not totally wild either. Like, I know I have these like big points that I want to hit, but I don't like have like a specific, I kind of like, I usually know the prologue before, like I have the prologue and I know the ending, and then everything in between is maybe like two major plot point that I want to hit. Everything else is a shit show. And also most of the time I'm going to finish the book and then I go back through everything, because halfway through the book I changed like something major and I'm like, okay, now the second half needs to match the first half of the book. So then I have to like go back from the beginning and rewrite the beginning. So usually actually what I know the most even now is the couples and which series they're going to be in and how many books there's going to be in this series. So that I know for like the next series, the one after, the one after, and the one after. So I know for 4 series right now who is going to be, they're going to be with, which order, in which book in the series they're going to be in, how many books there's going to be, that I know. And I know like the end of their story, like I know the tropes of the story and things like that.
That's some planning.
But that's
awesome.
Like, it's not even planning. I saw like, that's just in my head. That's just because these people are like, the universe is in my head. It's real. You know, like when I'm like on the train or like, you know, in the ground, I'm just like, and I've got my music and I'm like, that's what they're doing at the moment. You know, like just this crazy on the train, like thinking about her fictional characters. Whereas like, the actual planning, which would be plotting a book, that doesn't happen.
I know, but as a reader, to hear that there's that many more series coming with these characters that we've met or seen in other books, like that's exciting to know that you've got that much planned out, at least in your head.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. Or like I do have like I have a timeline. I have a chronological timeline of the entire universe, like year after year. And so I can see when things are coming and what everyone's doing at that time. It's like this huge Excel sheets that makes sense to absolutely no one but me. Even me, sometimes it doesn't make much sense, but it's there. But it's sort of, sometimes the worst thing is, because most of the characters that are coming in the next series, they've made appearances in the previous books, all of them. And so sometimes I get to their book and I'm like, oh, I hate your name now. But their name is from like 5 books ago and I can't change it. And I'm like, oh, I hate it.
We're stuck with it.
You're stuck with this name now.
He is going to give her a nickname ASAP.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. And that's just kind of like probably the evolution of us as in general. I remember names that I liked that I wanted to name my kids, but by the time I was having kids, I was like, we're not using that. There is no way, you know. Mandy's laughing because she had some interesting ones too.
Really?
I was obsessed with the band Bush back in the 90s.
Oh, we all were.
And Glycerine was one of the names I thought my kids should have. Why? I don't know. Let's just all be thankful that went away pretty quick.
It's good too, and also it's good to, you know, get people's opinion when you're naming anything. I don't have children, but I think maybe my characters are as far as I'm gonna name people. So it's usually, sometimes I'll name someone like 5 books ago, and in the meantime, like a huge book will come out, like a book will become super popular and they've got that name, and I'm like, oh no. I mean, good for them, but also I'm like, now I can't change mine.
Exactly.
Let's name like too long ago.
It's funny because my youngest, we had a name that we were set on this name until, well, we had a name at the very beginning, and then we decided against it because of our last name. Then we had a different name that was right up until the week before she was born. And then my husband leaned over and was like, I don't really want to name her that. You know, should we name her something, the name that she ended up with? But she finds out about that first name. It was originally going to be Aspen, and then we changed it twice. And she'll get mad at me. Why didn't you name me Aspen? That is so cool. And I'm like,
it's quite cool though.
It doesn't mesh with our last name, and that's why. Okay, so but yeah, she gets upset. It's not like she just, going, you can change it when you're an adult, I guess. I don't know what to tell you.
Oh, do you know what? she's fine. She's got the name. She's got a name, which I'm sure is
She's
beautiful.
15. Everything is the end of the world at this age.
Yeah.
So it's fine. Yeah.
So I know the purpose of our interview is to really talk about your latest book. So I totally understand if you don't want to tell us anything, but you've kind of hinted to that you already know what's coming. Are you able to give us like a little glimpse of what's coming, or do you just want to stay focused on like this book just came out like less than 2 weeks ago? Let me just breathe.
I mean, it's not even that I'm like, oh, this book just came out. It's just that I think the official announcement is so close now, and I'm
Okay.
just excited to share everything that I'm just like, I think we can wait a little more and just like make a big announcement. I'm super excited to share like the next sort of like era, the next series. I think some people are going to be super excited, like longtime readers are going to be pretty excited about it. So yeah, I'm going to keep it to myself for now.
That's okay.
No, that's totally fine.
Gonna actually, we're working on a upcoming most anticipated books for 2026. So I'm just gonna put your name down here on this list that there's something coming. And that's all I needed to know.
Coming, yeah, definitely.
Yes. Okay. Well, we'll wait for that.
It's going to be like longtime readers like scouring through previous books.
Oh yeah, I mean it's going to be a long series. There's going to be a few books, and there are some characters in there that people have been asking for a long time for them to do the story. And I think, yeah, they're just finally going to get them.
Okay.
Are you able to like blink rapidly if we're going to get it in 2026, or
we're gonna get yeah, I mean, since I started writing, there hasn't been 1 year I have like released nothing.
Okay.
So getting something in 2026 for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, fantastic.
That's all I need to know.
Yeah.
So,
that is plenty of info to know that you have. Like, it's wild to me how big your universe is, and that when you're talking, you're like planning multiple books down the road. Like,
yeah, it's so many books. Like, I'm always like, oh my god, it's never going to stop. But at the same time, and the universe just keeps expanding, and I'm just I feel so at home in that universe that I can't imagine not writing in that universe. And that I think I've made it that we've already had, a prep school, and we've had a, wrong side of the tracks, and we've had elite university. I feel like those are so different. They're such different series for one universe that I think now at this point I can just expand it to so many different things and still it be that universe. Like, I don't need to be like, nope, this chapter is closed, we're moving to something completely different. That might happen, but for now, like, I don't feel the need to do that at all.
No, and I think too, again, with the unique setting that you've developed, at least for a reader, I'm not tired of it, right? Like, I don't have that feeling where you need to do something different. I mean, it's not up to me, but as a reader, I'm still in the middle of it, and it's still intriguing. So, at least from my end.
That's so good to hear. Because if you were tired of it, I'd be like, sorry, there's more.
Sorry, you're getting it anyway.
I think it's like what you were already talking about. It's just so unique that we don't see that. So it's exciting to be in that. And I am a sucker for the good girl, bad boy.
Yes.
Oh, I love it. I love it so much. I like, I obviously I love a badass FMC, but there's something about just this good girl and bad boy and just this bad guy. It's a universal fantasy, like this bad guy falling for this like cute little thing. I'm just always like, oh, it's so cute.
Yes. Yeah. And I like it when the heroine's softer. I mean, as women, we have all different sides to us, and when we need to be strong and a badass, we can be strong and a badass, but at our core, we're sensitive typically to a lot of things. And I think you're able to bring that out. And I even think about like the character of Kayla. She was this leader of this gang, and so she had to be tough and ruthless, but at the same time she was still a woman, and she was strong without being obnoxious, and she was still able to feel those feelings. So you can do both, and you seem to hit that in all of your main characters, your female characters. So that was that's good. That's refreshing, because not everybody can do that.
Thank you. I think most women have, even when we're super, super strong, it comes from an emotional maturity or like an environment that we grew up in, that being a badass is for us, like men are just like, we're teaching them, you have to be strong, and you have like the patriarchy is like teaching them. So it comes as like so naturally for them. And I think for a lot of women, when that happens, is like, I've had to mature into that, but it usually comes from an emotional response.
Yes.
We're just emotionally intelligent creatures.
Yes. Well, we talk about it a lot whenever I read a book that has an obnoxious heroine, where an author has kind of missed that mark and she's made her obnoxious instead of strong. And I always tell Mandy, we talk about all the time, my weakest point in my life is when I had to be the strongest. So when I had a double mastectomy, that was the weakest point of my life, but that was when I had to be the strongest. And so even in your weakest points, that's where you find that strength to keep going. And I think sometimes people don't realize that when they're writing female characters, that they want to be strong, that in our weakness, we are strong. Yeah. So
that's so true. Yeah, I agree.
So, so you hit it with those, though. Good job.
Well, I'm going to take the conversation in a totally different direction now and ask you what you like to do in your free time.
What do I like to do in my free time? I mean, I love reading. Is that a surprise? I love reading, even though actually since Halloween, I haven't had a chance to like open a book. So I'm looking forward to this during the holidays. I spend a lot of time with my sister. We live together. So we're just like in our early 20s and early 30s in London. So we're always trying to go to like new places, like visiting, like we're out and about. That's usually like what we're doing. Like we're kind of like going to restaurants and going to bars and going to museums and trying things. And that's usually what I do in my free time. Although towards the end of this year, I've not had any. So actually I've been pretty stuck at home finishing a book and trying to release it.
Yeah. So was your sister your assistant at BB4E, or was that somebody else?
At BB4E, no, my sister wasn't there.
Okay.
No, my sister was before it was Chloe. She's actually part of the signing.
Okay.
But she's usually at my other signings. Yeah.
Okay. I couldn't remember what, like, I remember seeing you there, but I can't remember. I knew you had somebody, but I couldn't remember what they looked like. And I'm like, could that have been your sister, or was that somebody else? Because like, it's cool if you get to take her.
You know, when you see my sister, because a lot of people think she is me because we look very alike. And I think because people usually see me through social media, like through a screen, like they're not very sure what someone looks like, and they're like bump into her. And like it happened times before where I go on a break at a signing and she's like manning the table, and then people just come and ask her to sign books, and she's like, "Not Lola,
not her."
So yeah.
We learned that at our first couple of signings when we were newbies, and we would, we didn't know what authors looked like, or you only saw like this professional headshot. And so we learned very early on just to go to their Instagram and find other images of them with other people, like at events like this, because it's really hard. Because a lot of the times, you got these beautiful headshots, but in real life, we just look like real life people. So, that's a hard one.
Even when you use I don't use filters on like reels and stuff, but I will usually like do my makeup before I do a reel. So when you see me at a signing and I've just spent 5 hours in the same room, seeing no sunlight, like sweating, like in person for sure.
Exactly. My hair gets frizzy, my makeup starts to run. They're always hot, even if they're in the middle of winter, they're always hot. Yeah. So yeah. Yeah.
Well, speaking of signings, will we see you at any upcoming signings in 2026?
So 2026, I'm going to be at Holiday with the Bells in Dallas, Texas. So I'm going to be there. And then I'm going to be at Spellbound in the Valley in Poughkeepsie in October, I believe that is. There is one other that hasn't been announced yet, so I'm just waiting for them to do the official announcement. And we're trying to fit in a bookstore event like I did this year. I did just at Kiss and Tell in New Jersey. I did this this bookstore event where they had like 30 readers come in, and it was just like all of us like chatting, and it was really, really great. So we're trying to do another one of those, which might be in California, because I did a poll in my stories, and I was like, in my story, and I was like, where would you guys want me to go? And who knew? California won by like hundreds of votes.
Really? By a landslide. Interesting.
Yeah, there's a lot of dark romance readers in California, if you were wondering.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get to see you in Texas.
You're coming to Texas to Dallas?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, we'll be there.
Well,
Yeah. I'm
Are
excited
you
for
bringing
that
your
one.
sister to that one? Or
No,
not? Don't know yet.
no, she can't come to that one. She's gonna. She's doing her master's still. She's not gonna be on like break at that point, so she can't come. But I'm gonna have. I think I should have my best friend with me. So.
Okay.
Oh, fun.
Maybe.
Two besties can meet two besties.
I'll have my best friend with me too. Shocker. No, we're excited for that one. There are a lot of amazing authors that are going to be there, and
Yeah. And I've got a few surprises at that signing, so I'm pretty excited.
Okay.
Should we
Now
keep
I'm
an
really
eye on your socials for those?
Yes. Oh, actually, my Instagram is usually where that's the only one I know really how to use. The other ones, I deleted TikTok app like a year ago, probably at this point. So I have an account. I just don't even know how to log in anymore. And my Facebook group, I pop in once every like 6 months. So Instagram is the one it's at for me.
Yeah.
Okay.
That makes sense. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Well, that takes us almost to the end of our questions. So is there anything else you'd like to share about like the new release or anything else?
My God, no, I wouldn't know. I don't know what to talk about. Unless you tell me what to talk about, I don't know what to talk about. I'm just here like, how are you guys? Like, what have you been reading recently? That's what I want to know.
What have we been reading recently?
Oh my gosh, like
You just totally.
I'm like
We read like 10 books a week, but
I'm reading Born for Marble by Nikki Harris. I don't know why that was like so hard for me to remember.
oh yeah, yeah. And the one that I finished this week that was like 5 stars was Your Knife but My Back by Cam Morinova.
Oh yeah, I heard things are really good.
Yeah, that one, it ends on a cliffhanger. This book 2 came out this week,
Okay.
and I haven't been able to pick it up. I'll
Okay.
pick it up this week, but it ends on a massive cliffhanger. But it too is different. So as far as dark romance, so I liked it.
Yeah.
Mhm. And Born for Marble. Have you read those ones by Nikki Harris?
No, I've not. No, I've never read Nikki Harris, even though like she's so big and I hear
She's
about
really big and popular. She's got her Mafia series, but I didn't care for the one that everybody else did. This one is dystopian, and you start with Born for Silk. There's 3 books, and she created this whole world. It is friggin' awesome. They're all amazing books.
Very different.
because I need to like pick some like books for. I'm doing like what I'm calling a part-time break on like next week, which is like for then I'm just like doing less things before I go on a full-time break for the holidays. So and like now it's time to like pick my reads, get some recommendations so that I can like finish everything up next week and then like download everything and just spend 2 weeks on my
I would if you like that kind of post-apocalyptic. They're not post-apocalyptic, they're dystopian.
Okay.
But it's like the world has gone to pot. So it is kind of like after the apocalypse, even though it isn't. But it's the first one is just, oh my God, it is amazing. All 3 of them are amazing. So I would definitely get Born for Silk and listen to that one. She's got audio for all 3 out too. So you can listen to it or read it, whatever you like to do. But yeah they're good. Yeah.
All right. Well, that is the end of my questions.
Thank you.
Yes. Thanks for being on.
My God, thank you for having me.
Yeah.
It was really fun.
Yeah, it's always fun to work around the time difference, but we managed to make it work, and so here we are.
Yes.
It's horrible, and it's always like no one's in London.
No.
I'm always the one like, please, can we do early stuff for everyone else so we can be I'm still awake.
Yes, yeah. I mean, it could be worse. You could be in Australia.
I know. And I've not been able to do anything with anyone in Australia. Like some tried to make it work with some girls, and it just didn't.
Mhm.
Which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you can be magical.
I know. We just know that when we do an Australian author, we normally do it in the evening, and it's first thing in the morning the next day for them. So
Yeah.
yeah. So, all right. Well, thanks for stopping by. Everybody needs to
Yes,
go
thank
get
you.
Loving the Tormentor because it was
Yeah.
amazing. Yay! And you should go get. Was Loving the Liars the second one? Is that?
So the first one. So there's actually I rebranded the prequel novella that was you couldn't really tell it was part of the series. I just had released it really randomly. So there's like a prequel novella called Love and Lies Under the Mistletoe. It's actually a holiday read,
Okay.
Christmas read. And then there's Loving the Liar, Loving the Reaper, and Loving the Tormentor.
Okay. So they need to also get Loving the Reaper on audio.
You can get Loving the Reaper on audio now.
No, that's on audio. So
Nice.
yeah. Okay, Mandy, anything else?
That is everything on my list.
All right. Well, thank you again, Lola, for being here. And thanks to everybody out there for watching. And we'll see you in the next video.